Let's go now on some of the lines of comment rather than advice in this book. It says teachers are dogs on leads too. All grown-ups are paper tigers, and this sort of thing. Now, do you agree with this? Is this the way you look at teachers?
Now, nobody looks at teachers as all paper tigers, but if I could just mention about the strike. Nobody, not even a worker, goes on strike at the first thing. You try everything first of all, and then if you fail, then you go on strike.
Do you think it is right, any of you, that you should be advised in a book like this to regard teachers as dogs on leads, to regard your own parents as paper tigers?
We thought that we were going to tell the children, if we couldn't tell the teachers, we were going to tell the teachers, you have to be rebellious against this system. You have to uprise against it. It's not in your interest just to be a pupil in school, sitting down and listening to what the teachers try to tell you is important. So that's one of the things we did, we tried to do.
Well, I think the real controversial thing was that we went directly to the children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Around the grown-ups,
around
parents, teachers and everything.
That
we went directly.
What all the fuss was about.
I think so too.
They wouldn't admit at that time.
No, that was the problem.
Yeah, they wouldn't admit that that was what the fuss was about.
No.
But in the end, it was that, of course.
The Little Red Schoolbook may have been subversive, at least in its pitch to kids. Was it really that influential, though? Did it actually achieve anything? And is there anything its promoters would not do again?
It is a good question if we achieved anything, so maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It was just a drop in the flood, or what? I don't know how you say it, but that's all I think.
Do you think any of you has been? You've read it, if not thoroughly, you've read most of it. Most of you. Have you been influenced by it already? Any of you?
Well, it gives us some good ideas on what to do. But, I mean, no one's going to accept it as a Bible.
Tim gave me this little thing called the Little Red Schoolbook, which I don't know if you had in Australia, did you? Yeah, it was like virtually regarded as a communist tome that you know, at the time they were trying to ban, and it was full of probably quite practical advice, really, in a way. You know, it said it was... Well, why don't I remember that? It said it was okay to masturbate. That's the first thing that I remember about it. But it also sort of said that you've got rights and you should stick up for yourself at school. And, of course, it was hopeless, really, being at boarding school with Marist brothers and trying to, you know, impose some kind of free will. And I ended up leaving after a year, basically. Little Red Schoolbook was the undoing of me.
I worry, however, that that sort of period that we had where you really could explore your ideas, and we did have whole days at the university where people sat down and talked about things. We did have, you know, as students, we thought we could tell our lecturers, and I think this case reflected in the Little Red Schoolbook. We did think we could tell our lecturers, look, we don't like this curriculum. You know, we think the students should be involved in rewriting the curriculum. And it does sadden me now that there's so little of that.
We published, and I'm sure it was inaccurate, How to Make an Atom Bomb. I'd now not do that, because I don't want other people making atom bombs and dropping them on me.
Back in those days, I don't think I'd seriously thought through a lot of those questions, and I think they are very tricky questions. But what we were saying is it's not up to other people to set the limits, as they were so confident in doing.
I mean, I think the sort of inner-city intellectual culture of not only modern Australia, but of certainly North America, which I know fairly well, is riddled with ageing 60s leftists still living out their youthful fantasies. It's kind of pathetic in one way that they haven't grown up, but in another way it's kind of very depressing because they're perpetuating the same set of ideas which in my view have caused such havoc in the world, especially at the social and personal level.
Well, we wanted to change the world, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we wanted to start with the school.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting to see today if you went and handed out a newspaper outside schools with that sort of material in it. I think the right-wing mainstream media, for a start, would be down on you like a ton of bricks. They wouldn't be able to stand that.
If I was deciding to publish the Little Red Schoolbook or a new version of it, the same today as I did then, I have a strong suspicion that the result might be even worse.
If we published that book today, I think everyone would laugh. I think they would laugh. I think it couldn't cause any trouble. I think no one would take our jobs in the public schools or such things. I think nothing would happen.
One might wish that this relatively insignificant little publication had never been published, never been brought to Australia, but the fact is that it was.
So maybe in one level it had changed some people's attitude and given them some tools to see new things in society. But on the, well, it was just a part of a movement. It was just a little bit of a whole revolution in society, you know.
DVDs of this program can be obtained from Marcom Projects via their website, marcom.com.au.